A tiny peek at things to come in this week's YouTube show. There's interviews and gaming news and much more, don't you know? Shovel Knight put up a fight, then leapt aboard his yacht. I hope you have subscribed before, unless you had forgot. I thought I could deliver this intro to you in rhyme. It's not that hard, and it does help to pad out the runtime. It helps with ads, doesn't it? Well, would you look at this? Back in the vault. Got my lights, got my camera, got my swirly techno backdrop. And best of all, I have my comedy partner back for more hilarious jokes and japes. Ain't that right, buddy?
I hate you.
He doesn't mean it.
I really do.
Well, vaults insides have had a good defrag. Everything's backed up, saved onto clouds, external drives, even floppies.
Penis.
Look, if vinyl can be big again, then we can still use 80s tech. Surely that's fair. Anyway, speaking of retro vibes, have you ever delved into the world of the modern side-scrolling legend, Shovel Knight? Later on, I'll be chatting to Celia Schilling of Yacht Club Games about their Shovel Knight series and much more. But first, the new and improved gaming news. We've got some fun stuff to tackle this week, but first, a reminder that the harassment cases over Activision Blizzard are going through some seismic shifts, and mostly due to the involvement of their CEO, Bobby Kotick. At the time of writing this video, things are in constant shift, so I'm here to let you know that we will tackle it in the wind down in a future bulletin. If you wish to stay up to date on the situation as it stands and want to know how to support Activision employee protests, keep an eye on the comprehensive coverage being done by the team over on Kotaku.com. Now on to much more nitpicky wrongdoings and fan-wanky stuff in the video gaming world. In their never-ending quest to buddy up with every known IP on the planet, Epic Games' free-to-play paintball for the couch-bound generation Fortnite has added player skins based on Naruto, Kakashi, and more. Have a poke around in the competitive modes, creative mode, and so forth to locate and complete tasks for them all in an effort to obtain the stars of the fan-fave anime for your in-game wardrobe. But hurry, the event only lasts until November the 29th. After that, well, on Christmas Eve, we have Fennec Shand and Boba Fett skins headed our way, courtesy of their new Disney Plus Star Wars series. Ubisoft revealed that the upcoming Rainbow Six Extraction would feature a, quote, sizable amount, unquote, of post-launch content at no extra cost. Add on top of that this tasty new trailer that sets a creepy tone for the cross-platform sci-fi shooter, and it's looking like it could be a unique spin on the genre. The slightly tweaked release date of January 20th, 2022 means you don't have long to wait if you're looking to snap it up on Xbox, PlayStation, Stadia, and even Amazon Luna. And finally, GTA's recent re-release of the PS2-era trilogy in Grand Theft Auto: The Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, has turned out to be not so definitive after all. At least it's a trilogy. Grove Street Games, the developers tasked with remastering the original assets and codes designed by DMA and Rockstar North back in the day, have accidentally left several items and gameplay mechanics in the game's source code that should not be there. Hot coffee minigame. Such as older textures, certain cheats, and, most significantly, the complete soundtrack to all three games, which you'd expect them to have in-game anyway, what with it being called the Definitive Edition, but no. Several tracks' licenses could not be renewed for this updated release, meaning that legally they would not be given permission to appear in the games this time around. But there they are, in the source code. Yikes. Add to that how missing features from the original releases in the first place makes the title The Definitive Edition kinda bullshit, and we're only just touching the tip of the Troubleberg. The Rockstar game launcher for PC users wasn't working for the first few days of the game's release, meaning that millions of potential eager buyers couldn't even purchase the damn thing near launch. And as we covered the other week, a physical edition is not ready until, at the earliest, next month. Then we have glitches like the ghost taxi issue from GTA 3 returning, albeit now affecting all cars and making them grow 2 lanes wide if you wiggle your left joystick too much whilst driving. Characters in San Andreas seeming to be Sans skeleton half the time, and the first-person mode not accounting for all vehicles. Look what happens when CJ uses a quad bike! And we have what appears to be a big stinking mess on our hands. Perhaps wait for news of some aftercare on this one before dropping your cold hard cash. And that's the news. Now you're fully prepped. Still to come, we have a presentation about a right wrong-un hidden in a popular game. But first, after a successful Kickstarter campaign got the original Shovel Knight off the ground, the indie development team at Yacht Club Studios have maintained a super impressive streak of titles featuring the Horned Hero and much more. I was lucky enough to have a chinwag with their marketing manager, Celia Schilling, about the company's history and plans for the future. You guys have quite a great relationship with Nintendo as well. Shovel Knight is sort of part of the extended family of you know the mascots and characters that everyone like loves, especially on their platforms. What's it like working with Nintendo, and how did that relationship kind of come around?
So for that, working with Nintendo is phenomenal. I really enjoy it. It's really fun when like talking to our like our partners over there, because like I grew up with Nintendo 64, I grew up with Super Nintendo, and like all that good stuff. So to be able to work with them is amazing. And then as like I guess as for how we started working with them, it's kind of like with different platform partners. I wasn't there when we initially started our relationship with Nintendo, but like I'd imagine it was like Shovel Knight's doing great. We'd love to have it on other platforms, and having that little song of dance of getting it on there. But so yeah, it's really cool. In short, it's awesome.
Come on, Sony, where is it?
Yeah.
We love disclaimer. We love everybody. It's great working with everyone. But if you do want to compete for Celia's affection and send more stuff to the Yacht Club Studios office, go for it. You heard that only from me. I will take the blame. So Shovel Knight's obviously the much-loved baby of the team and the series and where it's gone and the fan base it's cultivated. But without giving anything away, if there's anything that's like stum on the horizon, anything that's mum's the word, are we to expect any sort of new ventures or new flavors or styles per se on the horizon?
So we announced in 2019. Wow, it's been a bit, but it feels like yesterday. But anyways, yeah. So in 2019 we announced Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon. It is a 2D action platformer with a dungeon crawling twist. We're very excited about it. And we also announced Shovel Knight Dig, which is like a roguelike like adventure. It's like, oh, such a different style. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about both games. So yeah, we announced them. The trailers are on YouTube on our Yacht Club Games channel. Go watch them if you haven't. And like I guess it's different, like I guess ventures and like the next gameplay dimension of Shovel Knight. And like I mentioned before, like we imagine Shovel Knight as like an all-encompassing series, so it's fun to see how those fit into Shovel Knight.
Last question, purely out of curiosity, because I'm nothing if not a curious little mouse. I have to ask, why Yacht Club? Where did that name come from? Is it because the end goal was for everybody there to earn enough money that you're all buying yachts? Like, that's the first thing that came into my head. Why?
It's really fun that you asked me this, because I remember on my first day I asked that too. Because I'm like, why Yacht Club? Because I remember when I told people I got hired at Yacht Club Games, they're like, oh, you're in the boating business now. And I'm like, no. Well, non-gaming people, obviously. I was like, no, yeah, no. No, and I remember like I passed like I was on vacation and I passed a yacht club and I'm like, I'm in one too. Okay, so for that, I've heard different stories, but one that I heard from my colleague Shannon is that initially like we were looking at different names when they're like forming the studio, when they're like, we're doing this, we're making Shovel Knight, like we have to come up with a company name. And I know that they were talking about naming it like 5-star games, like something like kind of funny and ironic, because you know they usually be like 4-star game, you know. So it's like something like pretentious, like, oh yeah, we make this like as a joke. And then and then they're like, oh, well, 5-star games, that maybe not. And so they're like trying to figure out names. And I know like our first like I guess our first like studio was in like Marina Del Rey area, and that's like where yachts are. So they ended up being like, oh, well, what if we, you know, we have a yacht club, and it's like, ooh, they're in a yacht club, and like, you know, and we'll make this game, we'll get rich and buy a bunch of yachts. And it's funny because yeah, people ask if we have yachts all the time. We don't. I haven't gotten my yacht. I heard on the first day you get a free boat, but I guess not. Uh, but yeah, so I guess that's an abridged version of the story. I'll update you if I get a more detailed one.
Huge thanks to Celia and the team at Yacht Club Games for sparing some time for little old me and my curious mind. Let us know down in the comments below if you've delved into a Shovel Knight game yourself, or if you haven't, which one do you want to try first? And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see the full interview with Celia in your subscription feed soon. Now, from that chunk of absolute wholesomeness to something a bit less nice. In fact, this next part is a tad gory and may even make you say...
On 3, 2, 1.
Never quite got why this was a thing. The Tomb Raider franchise has driven the video gaming world down some wonderful roads and remained a staple of the home console scene since Lara Croft's debut on the original PlayStation back in 1996. So it's odd how, for all of her accomplishments, the developers seem to take some perverse glee in her death animations. Logic suggests that that particular element of game design exists to endear you to Lara even more, because one brief slip-up leads to such gruesome scenes, making sure you concentrate twice as hard going forward to avoid such pitfalls again. Sometimes literal pitfalls. But look at how gratuitous some of these are. This footage is just from the reboot trilogy Shadow of the Tomb Raider. There is plenty more where this came from. Yes, it's gripping. Yes, it's sometimes darkly hilarious, but Lara's been through enough, my dudes. Maybe on her next outing you could show her a little more dignity and respect. If she has to blow up, let it be seen from afar with classical music playing. Or at the very least, tone it down and give her a raise. And put a comfort teddy bear in every game box. Do you mind the death animations in the Tomb Raider series? Are there any other games that do this and freak you retoot? Or are you a sick little pigeon and look for as many death animations in a game as you can find? Let us know in the comments below. You ever hear the expression, a wolf in sheep's clothing? You might think that's a secret bastard, but what if it's not even a wolf? Just a really shit sheep. Shit sheep who causes you to lose sleep over what they've been up to behind your back. This week on Secret Bastards, we'll be looking at another reet bugger so you know what to look out for yourself before someone pulls their shitty wool over your eyes. Everyone knows that an eagle is a man's best friend. It's a well-known fact, no one's ever disputed it. They're loyal, elegant, fetch you your paper from doormat, good boys, one and all. So it's no surprise that the titular assassins from that there Assassin's Creed series tend to rely on eagles and the like for scoping out targets, trailing targets, or putting targets on targets.
Look who is coming. Senu, old girl.
And there's none more loyal, dependable, or as memorable as Senu, Assassin's Creed Origins' Benelli bird of prey and trustworthy companion to Creed co-creating hero of the story, Bayek. Lovely man, by the way. Can drink me under the table, probably. Dunno, never met him, but I bet we'd get on. Trouble is, when you rely on an eagle for your vision, they become a big part of your day-to-day. They know where you are, who you're stalking, what time you go for a waz. And that's key info. Info that could be sold to the highest bidder. But why would Senu betray Bayek for money? Eagles don't need scratch, you say in your stupid voice because you don't know your bone. Well, clever eagles do need money. She spent so much time seeing people get off for a bounty or to square a debt that she'll want to put to one side for when the time comes to retire. And you can't tell me Cleopatra wouldn't pay top dollar for info. Now, to be fair, Senu might not even be the one responsible. She could have been a perfectly innocent feathered friend, or she might have been puppeteered by someone in future, through the Animus, by Layla or someone. I don't know, something about an Abstergogo. No one cares about the modern bit, that's why they bumped off Desmond years back. Anyway, keep an eye on Senu the Eagle. Keep a bird's eye on her, if you will. And you shall.
It's not nice, is it? Seeing just how many wrong-uns there are out there, playing at being nice. Consider yourself lucky that now you're more prepared than you were before for huffing and puffing and blowing those secret bastards down. Good night.
Thank you again, handsome stranger. My God, he's handsome. And a stranger. Oh, but not a danger stranger. No, he's one of the good ones. Like you lot. You're a bit of alright, really, aren't you? You do the right thing when push comes to shove, like subscribing to this channel, perhaps, giving the video a like and spreading the word about the work we do here at Games Vault. I knew I could count on you. Check's in the post. Keep up to date with us via our socials, and I will catch you here again real soon. Game on.